Shout out to you because we just keep on rocking and getting it done in the Midwest. We are in our show within show phase. This is Big Vern at App Stupid. So when we last left off, we covered Lane Kiffin. Uh, Whatever, it's college playoff or bust for him. He's got all the riches, all the spoils, and so if they don't get it done, what do you do from there? Because he's the number one portal guy. He's got more talent than the team has ever had since they won an SEC title in the 60s and 50s. So do with that what you will. We're going to stay in the SEC, but we're going to go to Florida. You all know I love Billy Napier. I actually like him. So I'm not going to sit up here and trash Florida. I just think that sometimes, whenever you take over a storied program, there's going to be your detractors in the Gatorville, Gainesville. There's going to be, I said Gainesville. I was about to say Jacksonville. I was like, no, that's not where they play. Gainesville. It's going to be your detractors in Gainesville. And CBS Sports and David Cobb, he has a piece entitled, "Do the Florida Gators have the hardest schedule in college football?" Do they have the hardest schedule in college football? And we'll go through that and we'll pick it apart and pretty much let you know if this is all smoke and mirrors or if this is legit. After we come back from a quick 18 from a rap album that we are endorsing this month, this is Big Vern. Drop the spot. Yes, Sanction, Volume 1, Price and Code of the Friend. In stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. Sanction, Volume 1 by Price and Code of the Friend. My personal favorites on here is Sanction, and then the I'm on the Run with Coda and Boss. I'm on the run, getting it in, hitting my win. Yeah, I love that one. That one's dope to me. One of one, and then No Hezzy. Sanction Volume 1 in stores now. So let's go back to this piece in Gainesville and talking about the Florida Gators having a hardest schedule. Now, I have to call BS on this because if we're talking about names, then okay, I'll hear that argument. But hardest schedule? Get the fuck out of here, bro. All right, let me go ahead and run down their schedule. They got Miami in a season opener. That's suspect. None of us know what Miami is going to look like. Yeah, they had a good season last year, but that's all suspect. Sanford, easy work. They play Sanford and Son, which has the mascot of Red Fox and Lamont. You big dummy. Then there's Texas A&M. That's a 50-50 game. Mississippi State. And they could lose that game. UCF. Who knows who's coaching them this year? And then there's Tennessee. Okay, they can beat you. UK, they can beat you. Georgia, that's a curb stomping. You're getting ready to get body bagged. Texas, that's a beatdown. LSU, that's a beatdown. Ole Miss, that's a beatdown. And FSU. Again, if you want to give me names, I'll hear it. But no. They have 3 out of conference games. Miami, Florida State, and UCF. Well, 4. Sanford. And I don't even count Sanford because I don't even know what that is. Sanford, Florida? Are they even big enough to have a college at that, a big D1 program? Really? Come on, man. They're playing Lamont and Grady. Hey, Fred. You big dummy. Hardest schedule. Man, you kidding me, man? Come on now. And the reason that I said you have to add a lot of context to this is that these other teams that they're playing, these out-of-conference teams, they have to have Miami. If they play Miami and, for example, they beat Miami, now Miami has to run the table in the ACC to give Florida a strength of schedule win. Or if they beat FSU at the end of the year, it's about how FSU's year went the entire swing. Now, I think Mike Norvell is going to be right back where he was. Him and Jeff Brom in the ACC at Louisville playing each other for the ACC crown. So that's what I think. However, that may not happen because there's injuries, there's all kind of things you have to account for. But they have to have these other teams have good seasons for this to be really considered a hard schedule. Now, there are going to be some teams that's going to have good records. Tennessee, Georgia, yeah. Texas, yes. LSU, yes. Those teams, I ain't banking on them having solid seasons. Everybody else is 50-50 because by the time they run into Texas A&M could be 1-2 headed into that Florida game because they play opening day, they play Notre Dame. And if they get waxed by Notre Dame, they're going to have another game that they're probably going to try and bounce back 1-1 maybe, but they could be 2-0 headed into play Florida because that's Florida's third game. So again, you see where the narratives that they try to build, they're putting them together right before your eyes. They took the names outside the conference, then they lean on the SEC teams to have a good year. So that's what kind of bolsters the resume. And they need to stop this. And we'll get more into this when we come back from a quick 20 from an unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Big Vern. Drop the spot. Yes. Taco Bell, Live Moz. Order online, download the app, or visit your good folks at your local Taco Bell. Taco Bell, Live Moz. So when we get back to Billy Napier in Florida and this hardest schedule craziness that they sit up here and espouse, you don't have to go to a Swanee team of 1899 road trip. You don't have to do that, David Cobb. And he was doing that in the piece, jumping back and forth. And then here's what he puts out there as his top 6 of the hardest schools, of the hardest schedules that most teams had to play. So number 6 is the USC team from 2002. Number 5 is Arkansas, 2014. I don't remember what the Razorbacks even did then. I'm sorry. Then there's number 4, Maryland of 2017. What? Then there's Auburn at number 3 of 2019, LSU of 2011, and number 1, Florida of this year. Are you buying that or selling that? Look, I like Billy Napier, and I'm selling that. There is no way that's... Again, they just need a lot of opponents to have good years on the schedule for that to be considered one of the toughest schedules. And in the SEC, Kentucky's not going to make it to the championship game. Tennessee's not going to the championship game. I think Texas and Georgia, because they may be lined up different, but Texas A&M, they're not going to the championship game. So none of these teams are going to play in a championship game. Like I said, Ole Miss is in the same division as Texas or Georgia. So they can only have one representative from the SEC East and the SEC West. So, I mean, where do you go with that? There's no way. Like I said, you have to depend on other teams to be very successful. And then that out of conference schedule where you have Miami, which no one knows what that's going to look like. And that's opening day. And then at the season finale, you play FSU and Mike Norvell and the guys, the Seminoles. Well, I expect them to be good by that time, or you'll see how their season plays out. Samford, I don't know what that is. You big dummy. Lamont. with Grady. Hey, Fred. Yo. Fuck out of here, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. And I like Billy Napier, but I'm not buying that, bro. I'm not buying that at all. And Billy Napier, he's in a critical third season at 11 and 14. His path to progress is paved with potholes. If the Gators are going to finish above 500 for the first time since 2020, it will likely require a fast start and a couple of upsets. The Gators face 11 power conference opponents. Even playing 10 is usually regarded as bold for SEC teams and have a nightmare in November. While Samford should be a gimme week 2, you can't comfortably circle any other games as automatic wins. Even though Mississippi State is rebuilding, it's still an SEC road game. Though ranked by Dodd, Kentucky, UCF are also quality opponents led by proven coaches. Again, that's what I was saying. That's what I was sitting here saying. So, again, you can see where Dodd wrestles with himself in the piece, but you can also see where, hey, look, they need a lot to go right before you can sit here and say that they have one of the hardest schedules. So we'll see how it all plays out. Hopefully, and again, I like Billy Donovan. I like Billy Napier. I said Billy Donovan. Jesus, that guy's playing basketball, coaching somewhere in the NBA. But I like Billy Napier. I hope it works out for him. I hope Florida's going to have a good season. But when I just ran off who they're playing and the situations that they'll be in, just doesn't look promising. Just doesn't look promising. Like I say, we're in our show within the show phase. This is Big Vern at App Stupid.